while Senator Feinstein has had an extraordinary, distinguished career, she's simply unable now to fulfill her duties. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see her in this state where she is missing votes, where we're not being able to confirm judges because of her absence on the Judiciary Committee. And I just think we should have someone in that role who can do the job right now.
So that was Congressman Khanna saying, hey, we got to have somebody in the role to do the job. Both Senator Feinstein and the congressman, they both served the great state of California. And there have been rumblings about her illness. She even wrote a letter basically saying, hey, put somebody on the Judiciary Committee until I'm able to make it back. But Congressman Khanna, as you saw in that clip, said, listen, hey, she can't fulfill those duties, so she needs to go. He's not the only one that's standing up, but he's one of very few standing up. And now there are people leveling the charge of sexism. So Congressman, that's a lot to have to take, and the pressure. What made you decide to step up and say that this should be done? Certainly for the best, what is in the best interest of the residents or the citizens, the people who live in the great state of California, but also for the nation at large.
People have known that Senator Feinstein has been unable to do her job for quite some time now. We've all been hoping she would make the decision on her own to step aside. I mean, she's missed 75% of her votes this year. But the trigger event for me was Senator Durbin saying that this is slowing down judges being confirmed. We have extremist judges in Texas taking away the abortion pill from women. We're going around the country making these speeches saying we're going to stand up for women's rights. And then when we can actually do something, which is get these judges out of the committee, we're stalled because one senator isn't able to show up. 5 judges weren't able to go through today in the Judiciary Committee because of her absence. They got 7 through on a bipartisan vote, but 5 of them, they needed a Democratic vote and couldn't do it. And so I said, we've got to get these judges through, and we need someone to step in.
And Congressman, did you find it difficult to come to that? Not necessarily difficult to come to the conclusion, but it takes a lot of courage to say that this should happen for the greater good. Now, the senator has said she's not running for re-election. She's definitely had a lifetime of service. The fact that you're getting some pushback and others who have had the courage to say this, do you find that shocking that you would get some pushback given everything that you just laid out, the importance of judges? And my secondary question to that is, why should somebody in Ohio care whether or not Senator Dianne Feinstein can fulfill her duties at this time?
Well, I wasn't surprised, and that's because this, Senator Turner, when those of us who stepped up for Bernie Sanders and endorsed him, and certainly those of us who said we're gonna play a leadership role in that, that's the biggest pushback I've ever faced in my political career. And so this pushback pales in comparison. It makes that looks like JV compared to the pushback we had with people taking a shot at Senator Sanders, because Senator Sanders was talking about changing private insurance and making sure we took on big oil and took on corporate interests. And there was a lot of opposition. Now, I knew we would get some pushback, but I guess that's given me much more of a steel spine and saying, if I think there's something that's right, I'm gonna stand up for it. And this time in private, I've had a lot of people saying, thank you for saying something. I hope she's gonna do the right thing. And the reason people should care in Ohio is the single biggest thing President Biden can do between now and 2024, given that we don't have the House of Representatives, is confirm Democratic judges who are gonna uphold voting rights, women's rights, and the Constitution. And every day, and I want people to really think about this, every day Senator Feinstein isn't there means one less possible judge is gonna get confirmed in this president's term. And that the stakes are enormous. I think she should have stepped down regardless, but certainly in this environment on the Judiciary Committee, she should step down.
And Congressman, to hear you say this pales in comparison, you giving me flashbacks. I'm sure I can say an amen on that, of all that we had to endure, because we did in fact do the right thing by supporting, not only supporting Senator Bernard Sanders, but actually being a co-chair and being right there on his campaign every step of the way.